Moments ago, Alabama's governor has signed off on the most restrictive abortion laws in the nation. The law will make performing an abortion at any stage of a pregnancy a felony.
Many believe this is framing a battle in the Supreme Court that could overturn Roe v. Wade. So, what would that mean for us here in Michigan?
Well, 24-Hour News 8's Heather Walker talked with a local lawyer with a lot of experience in front of the High Court.
That's right. There are many steps that have to take place before that ruling could or would be overturned. But even if it was, Michigan would have the ability to make its own decision about abortions. The power would go back to the state.
But it's not something that you just snap your fingers and they say, oh, sure, we'll reverse the precedent.
Roe v. Wade, whether the idea of overturning it scares you or excites you, the reality is the Supreme Court is far from taking up the issue.
The U.S. Supreme Court tends to move at a snail's pace when it comes to changing the law. And certainly since Chief Justice Roberts has been at the helm about 10 years now, it's been a very incremental court, just making little changes. And so I think there would have to be several other cases that they would decide first, where they kind of chipped away at Roe.
Attorney John Bursch has argued close to a dozen cases before the U.S. Supreme Court.
The court follows what's called the rule of stare decisis, which is fancy Latin language that just means we don't want to reverse past precedents.
Unless it can be proven that the foundation of the initial ruling was incorrect for some reason. For example, in this case, that there's now new science that contradicts what we initially thought was true about a baby's development. If the case did make its way to the Supreme Court, this would be the second time. Back in the 1990s, there was an attempt to overturn Roe v. Wade. At that time, the justices appointed by Republican presidents ended up voting in favor of upholding the decision in Planned Parenthood versus Casey.
So I think it's foolish for anyone to predict that justices will do one thing or another. We've been down this road once before, and everybody pretty much got it wrong.
And again, if Roe v. Wade was overturned, the power would go back to the states to decide if abortion would be allowed, making it a state-by-state issue. Governor Gretchen Whitmer told us today that she is pro-choice and opposes any legislation restricting that. Brian, Sue?